Hey everybody, and Merry Christmas here from the Dice Tower. Welcome to 12 Games of Christmas. Today's list of 12 games that we think you should go and check out and purchase them for someone or someone else. We've looked through them and tried to pick games that we hope, at any given point are in print right now. Some of these are new, some of them are older, but Game Nerds is a place that we check to see that most of them were there, or maybe direct from the publisher, but we hope you can find them. I'm also excited to say that this video is sponsored by the World Series of Board Gaming. Fantastic convention. I had so much fun there last year, and it's happening in September this year. And we have a contest that we're running right now. And all you have to do to enter this contest is to email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word jolly. And then in the body, tell me what your favorite game to buy for Christmas is and your address in case you win. Here's the deal. If you win, you will get one of their packages. So the only way to go to the World Series of Board Gaming is to enter the tournaments or be a guest of someone else who is. This isn't open necessarily to the general public. And the packages are $999, but to that end, you get to enter 4 of the 16 events. There are 16 different gaming events, all kinds of strategic games, from simple ones like Patchwork up to very complex ones like Ark Nova. You can enter 4 of these. You also get a 4-night, 5-day stay at the Luxury Tower at Bally's. You get to participate in all the side events, other events. Bring a couple people with you. You can all play in the open gaming area where I will greet you with open arms. And we're giving away one of these for free. But even if you don't win that one, you have a chance to come. And if you're watching this list with strategy games, then I bet you will love coming to this because it is made for people like you. You can check out more information about this convention down below in the comments or in the body here in the show notes. But let's get started here. We're talking about strategy games. Games where you need to use strategery to outthink your opponent. Now this could mean a whole lot of different things. And in fact, we try to get a wide swath here of games for you to look at. So let's get started.
All right, let's kick off the strategy list with a game that almost looks to be too adorable to be strategic. That is Flamecraft. But make no mistake, all of the cute dragons aside, the adorable artwork, the beautiful components, this is a game that has a nice amount of strategy. It's one that allows you to gain a number of different resources by visiting different shops, and then you use those resources to cast enchantments that are going to get you points. Again, the game looks gorgeous. It is very cute, undeniably. A game that if you're walking by, you see it on the table, it's going to get your attention. But there's a really nice amount of decisions to make. Not overwhelming, but not complete fluff by any means. This is a strategy game through and through, but one that looks unlike many other strategy games you'll see out there. That is Flamecraft.
So another great strategy game here is Everdell. If you want a great cutesy, thinky game where you're able to recruit all these cool little animals to your village. You're trying to build up a little bit of combos going on there, getting the right resources with all cute little components. It's very awesome to be able to play this game and try to figure out how to maximize your tableau and build out the game the way you want to. If you have someone who enjoys that style game and just doesn't have Everdell or thinks it's just that aesthetic is really good, Everdell is a great strategy game for someone looking to get into a game that would just be really enjoyable for that sort of thing. Anyway, Everdell.
The Guild of Merchant Explorers is a game that really surprised me. It feels almost like a roll and write game. You start in the center of the map, and every turn you're building outwards into different types of landscapes. Every turn you flip over a card that says, build 3 in the forest, or 3 in the water, or 1 in the desert, and you put these cubes out. And you sit there and say, well, why is this? Well, because over the course of the 4 rounds, if you complete areas, you can build little castle towns that in the next round you wipe all those cubes off, and then you can start building out from the center or from those castles that you put out, meaning that there's a lot of growth over the course of the game, and you have to specialize into different areas and different objectives on the map. And on top of that, the real hook of this game is that every round, when a certain card is flipped over, every player will be dealt a random special power, 2 special power cards, and you get to choose which 2 to pick from. And these special powers are fantastic. They seem over the top, like build in the ocean as many spaces as you want in a straight line, or build 7 spaces in any type of terrain. And that clearly feels like, this is amazing, this is broken, how good this is. And you look at everybody else and their special cards and you say, I want that one, I want that one. I love that feeling in games. So between the multi-round arc of this game and those special powers, the Guild of Merchant Explorers really is a strategic game to be reckoned with.
Next up, I'm talking about Tenpenny Parks. In this one, you are, of course, setting up your own amusement park, and you're going to be doing that by buying new attractions, placing them into your fairgrounds, and clearing trees out of the way so that you have room for new attractions. The game's very puzzly with the way you have to lay down attractions. They can only touch corner to corner for there to be room for folks to visit your attractions, of course. And it's very fast-paced as well. Just a few rounds and the game will be over, but every action you take is going to matter. Do you collect money? Do you advertise your attractions to increase your victory points and your fame? It's a very clever game and a gorgeous game to boot. It has fantastic artwork, a nice light-hearted feel to the entire thing, and it is one that is going to evolve with the players. The first time you play, or perhaps play with non-gamers, it'll be very light, very easy and to understand and get into, and the more you play, the more you'll see subtle tactics and strategies you can pursue, and the game, again, will grow with you. So that is Tenpenny Parks, a big recommend from me.
And next up, for our strategy games, we're going to be talking about Meadow. In Meadow, you are going through a meadow, and you are taking in everything that this ecosystem has to offer. You're building up your own individual tableau, your own individual meadow that you're viewing here and building out. And you're doing that by an open draft system as well as goal achievement. There's an open draft of cards that is always full, but unfortunately, those options are going to dwindle throughout the round, where you can only take one or up to two of those cards, but accessing them becomes more and more blocked off. So you're trying to balance, when do you draft to get that perfect card that's just going to fit great into your meadow, versus when do you go and take the action on the communal camping board in order to claim those points, because only one person can go claim that. So you have to balance that. Do you take that one card that's going to set you up perfectly later, or do you kind of take that rest turn where you go over to the camp and claim the points? Great strategy in that is you're trying to plan multiple turns ahead in building your tableau out, getting new cards, but also making sure that you have things planned out correctly with that timing. So for a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, highly thematic strategy game, check out Meadow.
Next up on the docket is Akropolis. This is a fun strategy game that comes in a small box, but also has some very cool strategy in it. You're building up a city, and so you're building these tiles wide, but you're also building them tall, which is very fun because as you cover up pieces, you can either cover up buildings that give you more of the cube resources in the game, or you cover up buildings that could be scoring for you. So there's a fun puzzle going on. As you build up higher, you're actually increasing the quantity that each tile is worth of whatever color's on top, and you have to match those with their particular scoring tiles. Also, there's an advanced version of the game if you want even more strategy and more puzzle. You can flip it over, and the colors then have specific scoring abilities based on those colors, as well as just the multipliers that are going on in the game. There's a lot of fun stuff to go on with Akropolis if you want one of those kind of thinky filler games to play between some other awesome strategy games as well. This is a fun one for that.
Next up on the strategy list is Skate Summer. If you have somebody on your list that was a fan of old school skateboarding video games, like Tony Hawk, for example, Skate Summer is a perfect choice. Even if you're really not a skateboarding fan, this is a fantastic, fantastic strategy game. It's a game that really plays out in two phases. The first part of the game is a push your luck type of game where you are trying to stay balanced on your skateboard by playing cards out that represent different tricks. Then you're going to be using those same cards to move around on a central board, trying to pick up tokens, get bonuses, all working towards victory points to be the ultimate winner. Skate Summer has a great look that evokes these kind of classic old school video games that I was referencing. And it is also a really good strategy game where you can take a couple of different approaches to try to get those victory points. All in all, Skate Summer is a terrific, terrific strategy game.
If you're looking for a beautiful, elegant game that is still very tactically satisfying and has a great theme, then Evergreen might be what you're looking for. In this one, every player has their own board in front of them. You are going to be growing trees, putting out different nature enhancements. You'll have a little tree, a little stone formation, basically growing a planet. and the sun will shine upon those trees seasonally as it moves around your board and give you victory points. The whole thing develops in this serene, attractive, very minimalistic way, but it engages the brain, and you're going to have a great time trying to puzzle out what season is going to best benefit you, where you should position everything in order to maximize your victory points. And hey, if you get some lovely visual appeal along the way, what's not to like? I think Evergreen is a wonderful game and one I highly recommend. Check this one out.
Another good strategy game here is Aquatica. Aquatica is a game where you have a hand of cards and you're basically playing those out to be able to gain cards off the table. And the thing that's really unique about this game is that the cards that you're gaining kind of slide into this board and will be triggered as basically different things happen on them. They can give you more resources to recruit more cards, to recruit more things into your hand, basically being able to push them all the way up, and then you can score them. The engine building and comboing in this is super awesome. The way that everything kind of comes together. You can have those explosive turns where it's like, I move this and I do this and I play this card out and do this. It just feels really rewarding as you're going through all that stuff. And the aesthetic with the underwater theme is a lot of fun as well. I really enjoy Aquatica for all of the combo-y, engine buildy stuff that it feels like the game has. And if you like that sort of strategy game, I think you'll enjoy it as well, and anybody you would get this game for would have a blast with it. So Aquatica is another great strategy game.
Next up in strategy here, we have another kind of nature-themed game, but this one's going to be set in a zoo. This is Uwe Rosenberg's New York Zoo. New York Zoo, you have a rondelle in the middle where you're going to go through and be choosing a polyomino shape to ultimately try to be the first person to complete your zoo in a grid coverage kind of manner. So you're trying to take these different tiles, but also balancing when to bring animals into your zoo and put them in different pens, because if you fill up one of your pens that you've taken one of those polyominoes, then you get to take a bonus building action and build some sort of feature, whether it's a roller coaster or a hot dog stand, which is then going to further complete your grid. This is a racing game, which is a first person to complete their grid wins immediately. So it's a good balance of taking those animals, breeding those animals, setting yourself up for maximum breeding during key points of the game when it crosses the rondelle, but also making sure you're getting those polyominoes you need to have the perfect or most efficient grid coverage. So if you know somebody that likes those, that likes that rondelle system, but grid coverage and is good with no points, just a racing game, check out New York Zoo.
Next up, I'm talking about First Empires. This is a small little game that looks like a conquest-style game, and in fact, it kind of is, but it's one driven by dice and one that has a lot of quick-moving turns, a lot of give and take in this one. You'll be rolling some dice, you'll be using those to move your characters around the map, taking over locations that belong to other players, taking actions, growing your civilization, and then next turn, they'll take some of those things right back from you. So it's got this really tactical, fast-paced feel in which you need to determine what is most important right now and pursue that with a singular vision. And it's gorgeous, of course. It's a beautiful game. There's a little card play in there as well, which is going to keep you on your toes. You are ultimately trying to be opportunistic and have the right things at the right times so you can have the most victory points. If you love the idea of moving on the map, knowing where to position yourself, and moving up on tracks that make you distinct from your opponents, First Empires is going to give you a really fun, fast-paced package that delivers exactly all of that.
Our last game that we're talking about today is about basketball. This is a reprint of an older game here, but Board Game Tables has the really nice reprint of Basketboss. Now, I've met a lot of people who say, I don't really like basketball. Well, you know what? I think you'd like this game anyway. I've met people who do like basketball. I think you might like this game. You're not actually playing basketball in this game. You're running a basketball team where you start with 5 fairly boring, generic starting players. And then through a series of auctions, you are bidding to collect players. And each player, as the different seasons go by, they might get better each season. They might get worse. They might get better, then worse, then better, then worse. And so you're trying to figure out the right players you want to have on your team. Players are in different positions. You want to have as many different positions on your 5-player team as you can. But also you want to have the ones who are going to score you the best so that you can win the trophies in this game. It is a lot of fun. It is it's almost close to what I would call a filler strategy game because it's not particularly long. And every time I play this, I think, wow, this game feels different. And it also has that fun theme of managing a basketball team. If you like auctions, you're certainly going to want to check this one out. Hey, that's it. That's 12. 12 games. 12 strategic games. 11 advanced strategic games. I don't know. I can't sing the whole song there, but thanks so much, everybody, for watching this on our series of the 12 Games of Christmas. We want to say once again thank you to the World Series of Board Gaming for sponsoring this video, and I hope you guys win that contest there at the very beginning. But either way, I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas, and until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching the 12 Games of Christmas here on the Dice Tower.